This is the Tree of Life, Season 29, Chapter 1. In this episode, we will be integrating the celestial rhythms and bodily rhythms into our discussion in the last episode. With the points in the last two episodes in mind, we can draw the following conclusions. In electromagnetism, it is understood that polarity, that is, an unbalanced distribution of charge, creates a magnetic field. For our purposes, we can say that when there is a boundary between reverse substitution and substitution events on a domain, it creates a similar imbalance and induces a rhythm or cycle. To reiterate, in our example in the last episode, where there is some set described as impulse +1 at one side of consensus, 0, and another at -1 on the other side of consensus, the result is the breaking apart of a domain into two regions, on either side of a boundary at consensus. These regions describe substitution events and reverse substitution events respectively. That is, on one side of consensus in a domain, acquiescence is followed by negation. On the other side of consensus, negation is followed by acquiescence. The existence of a boundary between these two sets represents polarity. Polarity creates rhythms or cycles, just as charge creates a magnetic field. We also talked in previous episodes about how there are two kinds of rhythms, affirmational rhythms and negational rhythms. Affirmational rhythms are made regular by reverse substitution events. Negational rhythms are made regular by substitution events. These rhythms flip back and forth by way of expression of a corresponding impulse. That is, by crossing the boundary between two subdivisions in a domain, we see either a negational or affirmational rhythm. But we can also say that affirmational rhythms represent the tautological flow and are generated by induction of polarity by the celestial rhythms. We can also say that infinite recursion results from a reversed polarity, inducing a negational rhythm. Now, as we have seen in numerous episodes, infinite recursion is truncated by the flipping of phase of a bodily rhythm, the compelling of acquiescence pursuant to a hierarchy, which is effectively boundary breaking. Thus, hierarchies within domains can act to induce or truncate an affirmational rhythm in another domain, or induce or truncate a negational rhythm within another domain. Just as charge can migrate between two plates via a magnetic field, so too can these rhythms mediate between domains by inducing or eliminating polarity between them. Since we see that in most domains, boundaries between reverse substitution and substitution events are created by either normative rule making by a hierarchy, or by the celestial rhythms through tautology, we see together most domains achieve polarity via hierarchy, or tautology, or both. But it is also true that we see that expansion of a domain, described earlier, in reference to a hierarchy permitting infinite recursion, involves the induction of a negational rhythm from one domain to another. That's the end of the podcast for today.